All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, September 20th edition of the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin. I'm joined on Monday and Tuesday by my man over there, Mr. Big Marcel. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Good to see you again.
Yep. No, you too, Marcel. I'm always looking forward to Mondays, man. We get to talk about everything that happened on the weekend. There was quite a few fights that took place this weekend, Marcel, as we know. UFC, Bellator, and even Contender Series, which we didn't really get a chance to talk about much after it happened. But I think we might as well to start with UFC. So picks-wise, I mean, it was an okay night for the picks. I didn't know the main event, though. That's the one I got wrong, and we'll start there. I didn't see Anthony Smith destroying Ryan Spann like this, Marcel. I got to be honest with you. Like, I definitely knew you could win the fight, but I didn't think it'd be a complete beatdown like we saw here. So start the main event here. Anthony Smith submits Ryan Spann in the first round, rear naked choke. He looked amazing, man. Dropped him twice with punches, submitted him. 3 straight wins out for Lionheart. Marcel, what do you think of his performance here?
Yeah, man, good performance. I think Ryan Spann made a mistake by he wasn't really stable at a certain moment, and he threw a punch, and he actually walked into a punch from Smith, and he got staggered with that. And after that, Smith pretty much took over, right? And he did very well. Finished the fight, went a little bit crazy afterwards. In my opinion, not really necessary. I think many people respect Anthony Smith, but if he feels that way, okay, I can understand the reaction. But it was good that Ryan Spann went over to him, wanted to shake his hand, and everything was okay again. And yeah, man, good performance by Smith. He called out Rakic after the fight. Rakic accepted, so yeah, why not?
See, here's the problem I have with this. Let me get this comment. Tristan, what's up, guys? Hey, Tristan, how's it going, man? Let me get this. Let me talk about this fight. So we saw this fight last year, and the fight was terrible. Why does everyone want to see this fight again? Why do we want to see this fight again? Tell me.
I mean, why do you want to see Francis Ngannou against Derek Lewis again? I mean, why do you want to see? What? For example,
I get what you're saying, but here's my argument. Like, this guy hasn't lost since they fought. He's Rakic. He only fought once. He fought Santos and won. It's like you're rewarding Anthony Smith because he's won 3 straight wins, which I get, but you're also kind of docking Rakic because he didn't finish his last 2 fights. That's what it comes down to.
I think Rakic should fight Jiri Prochazka, but I mean that's not a fight they are looking to make. I think for some reason, but I mean, if not, why not? If Rakic wants it, if Smith wants it, why not? Why should we do difficult about it?
Just because I personally don't want to see the fight again. We saw it last year. It was a really boring fight. It was just
it was
basically Rakic threw these nasty leg kicks that Smith couldn't handle, and the fight was based on I looked at the stats of that fight the other day. It was like almost 15 minutes was spent on the ground, but there was no takedowns. It was just him catching the kicks, going to the ground, and wrestling him. I mean, there's not many other guys that can fight, though. The only other option is Rakic to fight Yuri, or just to wait to what happens next month. It sure seems like he wants to get back in the cage. Listen, if he wants to fight Smith again, by all means, but to me, like, if I'm his management, I wouldn't take that fight. You're taking a step backwards. It seems like a bad idea. He already beat him last year, guys, and he has not lost since then. You don't really see that often where a guy's on a win streak and then fight someone else that he'd already beaten during the win streak. You don't see that often in the UFC, and I don't think we'll see it here. But, if this guy really wants to fight again and the only option is Smith, maybe that's the fight they'll make. I just don't want to see it again because I thought the fight sucked. If you guys want, go back to Fight Pass, type in Anthony Smith, Alexander Rakic, watch the fight yourself. It was a terrible fight, Marcel. I don't care if it's 2 more rounds either. It was bad.
I know the fight sucked. But I'm just like, if there's nobody else and they want to
fight. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I'm looking at the rankings. It's like Dominic Reyes would make sense, I guess, but I think he's injured right now. So there's no one else. Magomed Ankalaev is another guy too. Although he does have a fight, I think, against Özdemir.
Against Özdemir, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Rakic is just in a weird spot right now. But I just, if I was management, I wouldn't take that fight, man. I honestly wouldn't, guys. Like, why would you fight someone that you've already beaten during your win streak? That doesn't make sense. It's like, this is exactly like when people were saying to Leon Edwards, go fight Vicente Luque. He beat him a few fights ago. Why would he fight him again? Like, during the same win streak? I don't know. For me, it's like that's a step backwards. But again, there's no other options. Then I can see why they do it. Let's get these comments here about Smith. 3 straight first-round finishes. I mean, he's looked really good. Smith versus Santos Walker winner. You could do that. I mean, I wouldn't mind that at all. He has fought Santos at 185. Lost the fight. It'd be an interesting rematch at 205, although I do think Walker has a good chance to win that fight. Smith has been extremely dominant since putting us in weight. I agree with that too. He's looking. I mean, 7-3 overall. I was just looking right now. He's 7-3 since moving up to 205. That's pretty damn good. That's definitely solid. Only lost to Rakic, Glover, and Jones. That's not bad at all. If Santos wins, wouldn't be beneficial for Smith to fight Santos on one win streak, only Walker. That's true. Cutelaba versus Manyfield, Roundtree versus Knight. I mean, I'm fine with those fights if they want to make them. I'm fine with those ones. Tristan's talking about Smith's fight with Rakic. He gained weight, probably a lot stronger. I mean, he's fought at 205 for a few years, man. I definitely think he's filled into the frame better. But again, this was only last August. And it's not like Smith's a young guy. He's 33. I do think he's gotten a little bit better for sure, but I also think he's fought in like slightly worse fighters, though. I mean, you go from fighting John Jones, and it's a lot easier to look better against guys like Clark and Spann and Cruz. Go ahead, Marcel.
Every time somebody brings up Smith against Rakic, you look like somebody stole your lunch money, man.
I just think people don't realize how boring the first fight was. I think people just sometimes they just they forget. And I'm not saying you guys
super
are
boring.
Yeah, I'm not saying you guys are, but I just think like if it's for a title, I guess it makes sense. But it's like it's not. So I don't know why we'd want to see that. Why are we forcing ourselves to watch this fight again? Again, you get. I saw Smith's interview with I think it was James actually, and he was basically going off on Rakic because he doesn't finish fights. He doesn't want to finish fights. He doesn't want to fight. Bro, you got your ass kicked last year. Like this is just Anthony Smith trying to get his loss back. That's what it is, guys. Honestly. Anyways, doesn't matter if they want to book it, whatever. Thoughts on Arman fighting Hooker Nazareth? I think that makes a lot of sense. I'd be okay with that. Arman looked good. Actually, go ahead.
The funny thing is, there was so many censoring in the UFC interviews, and when Bisping asked to Tsarukyan, "Who do you want next?" He's like, "I want Hooker," he said, and they didn't censor that. I'm just kidding,
funny.
guys.
That's funny.
I mean, but let's be honest, man. That Tsarukyan Giagos fight didn't make sense in my opinion at all. But I mean, nobody wanted to fight Tsarukyan, and he wanted to stay busy. So yeah.
We'll talk about that in a sec. Well, that would be a quick one.
Sorry, man.
It's okay. Jose says, Tony posted fight news. I have strong feelings. Gillespie. Why do you think they didn't make him versus Riddell? I don't know. They wanted to do that fight with Fiziev, which I really like. You think it's Tony versus Gillespie? And that sounds like a horrible matchup with Tony. I gotta be honest with you. What do you think?
Yeah, not a big fan of that for Tony. Definitely not in the state how he is in this last.
Is that what you're hearing? Are you actually hearing this Gillespie?
No, I haven't heard this.
You haven't heard anything? Have you heard anything else? Another name maybe? Have you heard anything? No? Okay.
No, sorry,
I think we're talking about this fight. Cutelaba middleweight. Okay, let's talk about this fight. Cutelaba defeats Devin Clark. Now, first thing I want to say is those 29, 26, 29, 27 scorecards are fucking terrible. Any judge who scored a round for Devin Clark in that fight doesn't know what the hell they're doing, honestly. There's no way he won that fight, round in that fight. Ian Cutelaba won every single minute of that fight. He destroyed Devin Clark, smashed his face in. The guy's teeth are like shoved in the back of his throat right now. It was an absolute beatdown. I really think that the coroner should have stopped the fight, or the doctor should have stopped the fight between the second and third round. Like, you've seen the picture yourself. It's dangerous because his teeth were halfway back his throat. He could swallow those teeth and something seriously bad could happen. I think they should have stopped this fight a little bit sooner. Devin Clark's a warrior, made it to 3 rounds, but he got his face smashed in for 3 rounds. I thought Ian looked phenomenal in this fight, Marcel. This is the best he's looked, I think. Because the thing is, man, we all know he has power. We all know he's a monster, but the one thing that he has now is he's got cardio now. And we saw that in the last 2 fights. He's got cardio. He went 50 with Jacoby. He did gas a little bit, but not in this fight. He didn't gas in this fight. I thought he looked amazing, Marcel, personally. I thought this was his best performance. I know he's had some quick knockouts and stuff, but for a prolonged 50-minute fight, I thought he looked really phenomenal in this fight over Clark, who I'll give him some credit for being tough, but he just wasn't on the same level. What do you think, Marcel?
Yeah, man, then fucking finally, finally we saw Cutelaba going 50 minutes without being gassed or whatever. And he did well. I picked Clark to win via decision because it was like he will come through the first round and then he will probably take over. He came through the first round, but he didn't take over. I think the last 30 seconds were probably for Clark, but definitely not a round. Yeah, Cutelaba looked good, man. I honestly think if Devin Clark's dad wasn't in his corner, he would have been the fight would have been ended, because at a certain moment you heard him saying like something like, Darren or Devin, don't you dare to fucking give up. And then you saw Devin go back to try to get to a butterfly position again, a butterfly guard, or he tried to get out of the mount from Cutelaba and didn't curl up, So for some reason, I think that made him go for that total 15 minutes, because he was almost out of it, man, at the end of the first round. And also the second round again, then he heard his dad screaming again, and then you saw him moving again, so the referee didn't stop it. And the third round, I think he said to his corner, like, I need surgery anyway, so let's go on.
Yeah, he did say that. That's kind of I mean, it's crazy, but like it just shows again how tough these guys are. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if it was the right call, because again, you got to live to fight another day. You guys have seen the pictures, man. Go to his Instagram.
It
looks
like
really bad.
Alan Patrick a few years ago.
Yeah, you said that too. You know what reminded me of? It reminded me. Okay, let me get the picture right here. Hold on, I want to find the picture. I'll throw it up here. I'm going to show you what. I'm going to show you guys what it reminds you of. What did you say, Marcel?
Sanko said LC Davis and
LC Davis. Yeah, I remember him from Bellator. Okay, so here's the picture. I'm gonna get those comments in a sec, Jamie and Tristan. Let me show you this picture. I'm sure you guys have seen this already. You guys have seen this one?
Yeah.
It's just it's rough. It's rough. And he posted the update. He got some like braces or something in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one sec. And then the other thing I was thinking that it kind of compares to was one sec. Well, I thought it looked like I don't know why, but actually it doesn't really look like it now that I see it. Well, whenever I see this, I just think about this guy. That's what I was thinking about, man. Like, these teeth are just in rough shape, man. That's what I was thinking about, Marcel.
Jeez. I was thinking about a fighter or something that happened as well. He comes with Pennywise.
All right, look at these comments. Jamie, what's up, man? He says judges giving Clark a round to try to scrape a few punches for Mount in the last. I know he looked good for those 5. Okay, I'll give him that. I said he lost every second of the 50 minutes. He won the last 5 seconds of the third round. I'll give him that. What do you guys think, Nate? Man, we'll talk about him in a second. He looked good. Great finished. Let me see here. All right. Next fight, Ariane Lipski, Mandy Baum. I mean, I called it. I told you Mandy Baum wasn't good, Marcel. I knew it, man. She's not good. She has no wrestling, guys.
When I saw that fight, I immediately had to think about you. I was like, man, I'm sorry to say, man, but it was such a bad performance by Mandy Baum. Man. It was nothing came out of her or something. No work on the ground. Stand-up wasn't good. And Lipski looked sharp, man. But probably one of the best performances of Lipski so far in the UFC. Very sharp for 15 minutes. Very complete performance. Very well done by Lipski.
Yeah, she looked good. I'm still not sold on Lipski. I liked her in this fight. So I'm not sold on her, guys. I'm telling you, she can still struggle. Everyone's talking about her improvements. Okay, sure, but she also got smashed her last 2 fights, including by Antonina. I'm not going to forget about that. If she fights a good grappler, has good wrestling, she'll lose. The thing is, Baum, I actually scouted her pretty good. She doesn't have any wrestling. Just because you have a good ground game of submissions doesn't mean you have good wrestling. She has no wrestling, Marcel. She got wrestled by Ariane Lipski for 15 minutes. It was a really bad performance. Also, I think people are kind of overrating Baum just based on her record. I don't know if they actually watched her fights. Like, they're like, oh, she's such a great prospect. Why is she a great prospect? Who said she's a great prospect? She's also 32 years old. She's not young. She's not 22, right?
I was thinking, man, she was supposed to make her debut for Bellator against Liz Carmouche. That would have been horrible, I think, if I think back, because Liz Carmouche is pretty wrestling heavy. But, I mean, there was just nothing, man. I mean, Lipski was completely in control from the first minute to the last minute. Her stand-up was better. Her ground game was better. Lipski completely dominated the fight, man. That's a very good performance.
Here's our boy Tristan. He says German MMA is non-existent. So sad. We're performing terribly. Yeah, David Zawada lost recently. Who's that guy? Nander or not? No, what's his name? Who's the big guy that you hate? The guy that's the quitter. He won by knockout. Heavyweight guy.
Oh, Georges Daniel.
Yeah, Georges Daniel. He won. He's German, right? Is he or?
Yeah, he's German.
Yeah, he won.
German Syrian.
He knocked out Jorgen De Castro, so he did have a win a few months ago. But yeah, sorry, Tristan, it's not the greatest, man. He's saying Stolze also lost. That's right, Nicholas Stolze. There might be someone else from Germany in the UFC. I can't think.
Yeah, they just signed the Russian-German, the Abu Sufyan Magomedov, who's
fighting Russia. Who's he fighting again?
GM3.
Yes, I saw that one. that's crazy. They're just giving GM3 the toughest like freaking guys. Eh? They're like, all right, you're fighting this guy now, and he's probably gonna submit him too. Watch, guy's so good at submissions. All right, next fight, and it's the one we just mentioned a few minutes ago. I mean, there's not much to talk about this one. Arman Tsutsuki defeats Cristiano Gallegos, and I told you, Marcel, I knew he would win. I was super confident. It was just how was he going to win? I thought he'd submit him, man. I think the fact he knocked out Christos is extremely impressive. This is the first knockout he's had in 3 years. It's Christos, I think, second knockout loss in his career. Yep, second one after Josh Emmett, which obviously no shame in that. 5 years ago, Josh Emmett knocked him out. So I think this was damn good performance by Arman. We all already knew he's good. It's time for him to fight someone in the top 10. I mean, the guy is really fucking good. We all know this, guys, but it is time. He's only 24, but he might be one of the best lightweights right now. So, like, I know they can give him the slow build. Marcel, he fought Gallegos, Frevola, Ramos, and OAM. Those guys are all unranked fighters. I know he fought Islam, obviously, in his debut. Now it's time to give him a ranked guy again. Marcel, would you agree?
For sure, man. I mean, he looks good. I mean, even in his only loss in the UFC, he looked good, against Islam Makhachev on short notice. The thing is, I think I said it before, man. Arman said he needed to finish here to show the UFC that he is exciting. And that's because Sean Shelby said after 2 fights that he was boring, So doesn't make sense to me. That's why I always say sometimes the UFC doesn't recognize real talent, And this guy, I mean, everybody could see after the Makhachev fight that this guy was pretty good. He made it competitive with Makhachev. I think he lost all 3 rounds, but he made it competitive in that fight.
Right.
And you saw against OAM he was better. Against Ramos was even a very good fight. After that. And the Frevola fight as well. So the thing is, he said he needed to finish here. He did it, against a guy who I think Giagos is a good fighter, but I don't think he's on the same level as Tsarukian. So we really need to see him now to fight somebody in the top 15. He's in the top 15 already, so why not?
Yeah, he's freaking good. I was just looking at his record now. He has lost, twice, obviously Islam, but the other fight he got knocked out. Have you seen that fight? I'm looking at it right now. It's on YouTube. Have you seen this fight? This is his first one. This was the second profile. I'll throw it up here, guys, and then I'll take those comments. I just watch it on YouTube. So he fought this guy, Alexander Bellick, I guess his name is. Let's just watch this one. It's very short. This is his second fight. Obviously, it doesn't mean anything now. We know he's improved since then, but definitely worth mentioning because, I mean, you'll see what happens here. And it just makes you wonder, like, because he hasn't really fought any, like, high-level strikers. Like, what happens if he does fight a Nasrat, a guy who's a good striker? Because, like, look at that. Done. You know what I mean, Marcel? I've never seen this actually.
Yeah.
But,
no, me neither. First time.
Yeah. He's just done. He's out. He's pissed at the ref, but it was a good stoppage. Anyways, the guy's good. But yeah, let me get these comments. Hey, what's up, Marcus? Do you think Baum will get another UFC fight? Yeah, she'll get another one, but she better win it. Nazareth's the only hope, really. Talking about German MMA. Yeah. I feel like Nazareth should have been thrown in the German MMA conversation, even if he does represent Afghanistan. That's fair. I don't know enough about the whole situation with what flag he wants to represent. Arman versus Gregor. I would love to see that fight. That fight would be fucking sick. I don't think they'll do it. I think they're going to do those guys on separate paths, but I would love to see that fight. Now let's talk about this fight. Nate Maness defeating Tony Gravely by second round knockout. I mean, this is unbelievable to me. This just shows again how fucking crazy this sport is, Marcel. And Jose says you got KO'd the same way Islam got stuck by Adriano. Absolutely. I was thinking the same in the Arman fight, the last one I just showed you. That's the thing. MMA, anything can happen. Like, you could lose to a scrub just because he punches you in the right spot. You know what I mean? Now, let's talk about this fight. Nate Maness, Tony Gravely. Gravely was absolutely dominating Maness. Took him down, beat him up, then dropped him at the end of the round. I honestly thought he was knocked out, Marcel. I thought he was knocked out, and the bell saved him. And then the second round, Maness lands a right hand and knocks out Gravely. I couldn't believe this. Give me your thoughts on this fight.
That Maness also didn't fight his last fight against Sanders, where he looked bad in the first round and also won in the second round.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's something he needs or something. I have no idea. But I thought he was done after the first round. Also, man, I thought there was a rule when you are knocked down in the last second of the first round, the corner can't help you on the stool. You have to go stand up yourself and walk to the stool, And this didn't happen. The corner helped him up.
No, I think you can get the corner to help you. I've seen that.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that.
Well, I've also seen fights like we talked about Modestus against
against Michaelides,
where no one helped him up. He fell out, and they called the stoppage. So I know what you're saying. I thought they would have stopped it. I thought he was done. Give me your thoughts, though. Keep giving your thoughts.
Yeah, same. Like you, I also thought he was done. And then the second round, he came back. He punched Gravely on the sweet spot. Let's put it that way, and he stopped him. Gravely was done, and I was surprised, to be honest, man. I thought Gravely had it in the bag, but I'm thinking that Gravely thought as well that he had it in the bag, but he didn't. So
Yeah.
Good comeback win for Nate Maness.
And what's next for him, Marcel? Because I like this guy. What's next?
Yeah, I wouldn't give him a top 15 yet, to be really honest, man. I think I saw in his last two fights that didn't look good in the first round. He came back in the second round, good comeback finish. I would give him somebody in between top 15, top 20.
That's fair. That's fair. There's a lot of good guys at bantamweight. It's such a good division. Jose said UFC Russia posted video Islam talking about the top guys. I wish they had added subtitles. Yeah, that would have been nice. I can't speak Russian, so I honestly have no idea what he'd say there. I'd love Mans versus Miles John. That'd be a great fight. I think Miles is really good, but that's the thing. He also deserves a top 15 opponent. This division's just so stacked. It's an amazing division, bantamweight. All right, let's start with this fight here. Joaquin Buckley, Antonio Arroyo. You guys know I picked Arroyo. I thought I was looking for a genius for about 10 minutes or so because he was looking good. Even Buckley was like, yeah, he was winning the fight. But Buckley, again, so explosive, catches the guy in the – it wasn't the back of the head, but it wasn't like it was on purpose. Like it was like the guy turned at the same time. But, yeah, Buckley catches him. Marcel knocks him out, and that's 7 straight fights that have ended inside with a knockout for Joaquin Buckley. That's insane. And Arroyo gets lost again, 3rd straight loss to the UFC. But I thought he looked okay. I think I would keep him around for the 4th fight on his contract, Marcel. But, yeah, I think Buckley, nice comeback, gets a performance bonus again. Give me your thoughts on this fight.
Yeah, man, like you said, Arroyo looked good in the first 2 rounds. And he got clipped in the 3rd round, and Buckley finished him. Yeah, it is with Buckley. It's either getting finish or finish, in the UFC so far. And he's now 3-2, I think. The thing is with Buckley, I can't agree with you what you said last time. I don't think he's really that good as many people think he is, but I don't think he's that bad as well. I think he's just kind of a sounds really bad, but kind of a mid-tier fighter, in the UFC who can win against a lot of guys, but also can lose against guys you probably don't expect him to lose to. So it's like it's just a good guy to have around. He's entertaining. When he finishes fights, it's entertaining. So pretty much that. I think many people disagree with me here, but that's how I think about it.
I feel the same way. But Buckley's been around a while too. He's been Bellator for a long time before he was in the UFC. The guy he's decent, but not great. I'm with you on that. Like he's decent, but again, I'm telling you guys, he fights someone that's more aggressive than Arroyo was. He can get clipped and knocked out too. Buckley had a massive knee too. He sure did. Wonder if Buckley's fights are auto no bet no. I mean, it sure seems like it, right? Like even this fight, which went right down to the wire, it's still inside the distance. It doesn't seem like his fights go 50 minutes. It's been a while. Let's go to the prelims here. Devon Achukwu, he did go to the distance against Mike Rodriguez, wins the unanimous decision. He looked good in this fight, Marcel. He needed the win. I think Mike Rodriguez is going to get cut. He's lost 3 straight fights. What do you think?
Yeah, not my favorite fight to watch, to be really honest. Devon did what he had to do, and he won the fight. But yeah, it was it wasn't a great fight in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just weird because now this guy's 2-5-1, right? Won no contest in the UFC, but he does have a knockout win over Marcin Prachno, who's looked really good lately. So it's like it's kind of weird. Maybe they'll give Mike Rodriguez one more shot. I don't think so though. I mean, the record's just not good enough. 2-5-1, not good at all. The victim, Hage's fault. Hey, what's going on, man? Glad to hear you. Glad to have you here, buddy. Let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. Raquel Pennington and Pannie Kianzad. Super close fight, but 29-28 across the board for Raquel. I mean, I called this fight pretty good too, Marcel. I said it was going to take place against the fence for 15 minutes. That's exactly what happened in this fight. It was, I guess, a decent scrap. I mean, they're going at it for sure, but it's exactly like Raquel Pennington fights every single time. What do you think?
Yeah, same old. She won the fight. I expected a close fight. I picked Pannie Kianzad to win, but Raquel did it again. So yeah, she will be ranked again after this one.
Yeah. Zhu Rong defeats Brandon Jacobs 3rd round TKO. He missed weight. We got to mention that. It was funny because he was on the scale celebrating, and then his team was like, "You missed by 2 pounds." I'm trying to explain to him like, "You missed weight." So you know what? He fucked himself because I think he would have got a bonus of $50,000 because he looked amazing in this fight. He looked amazing against Brandon Jenkins. This is the performance we were looking for from Wrong in his debut against Vargas. He didn't have it there. Now he gets some experience in the UFC. Man, I thought he looked really good in this fight, guys. I mean, listen, I get he's fighting Jenkins. That guy took it on short notice. He's not really UFC caliber. He does have the highlight reel knockouts, but obviously his wrestling's limited. But still, Wrong, not only did he win this fight, he dominated the fight. For a 20-year-old guy, Marcel, it's clear he's made some improvements from his last fight. I was impressed by Wrong in this fight. Just, again, disappointing he missed weight because he screwed himself out of the bonus. What do you think?
Yeah, Wong Su looked good, man, in this fight. Much better than in his debut. Like you said, man, he didn't make weight. And Brandon Jenkins, who took the fight on very short notice, made weight. So I think Brandon Jenkins normally fights at the same weight class or not? Normally fights same weight class as well, right? Yeah, so that's actually pretty impressive. He did make that weight. But Wang Zhu, he dominated the fight in my opinion, and he got the finish very late in the third round, and good for him, man. He needed that after kind of a disappointing debut against Cutelaba Vargas. So yeah, good for him.
No, I'm with you on that one as well. And Pegton's fights in a nutshell, Jamie. Absolutely, every single fight I've seen her in, it takes place against the fence. Montel Jackson defeats JP Bays. I can't believe that my bet on this fight not going the distance didn't cash. I can't believe that. Are you kidding me? Montel Jackson drops JP Bays 4 times in this fight, literally 4 knockdowns. I can't remember the last time you saw a guy get knocked down 4 times. I was thinking back. I know that Adesanya knocked down Gastelum and also Roundtree knocked down Anders on the same card, 236. That was like 2 or 3 years ago now. That's the last time I can remember a guy getting knocked down 4 times. I'm sure there's another example of it, but I'm amazed that JP Bays survived this fight, but Montel Jackson looked amazing again. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Montel Jackson looked good, and we said it before, man. It's not a good fight probably for JP Bays to make his bantamweight debut. Guy's super tough though, man. I mean, 4 knockdowns, he came back. I hope. I know you're not really a big fan, but I hope he gets another one in the UFC because
after this fight, I would give him one more just because he showed so much heart, unlike the other fight against Silva, where he kind of just turtled up and quit a little bit. This was the first time JP's been in a decision in his career, so he definitely wanted to go the distance in this fight, and he did. Actually, it's ironic that I mentioned 236 because I'm looking right now, and Jackson was actually on that card too. Crazy, that's crazy. So that's the last time I can remember a guy getting dropped 4 times. It was Roundtree, Anders, and Adesanya Gastelum. So pretty crazy. Anyways, I like Jackson. He's really good, Marcel. We know that. Also, what do you think of these fans telling Cheyenne Buys that she should divorce JP because he sucks in the UFC? I don't know if you saw her Instagram. Yeah, some fans are such assholes, man. I mean, listen, like, Cheyenne's obviously a very attractive woman and a good fighter, obviously too. JP Bays is a damn good fighter, he's all right. Maybe he's not like the champion that some people maybe he thought he'd be, but guy's a good fighter. Not only that, but I don't like when people are nosy with other people's relationships. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know why they like each other. They have a different connection, and we have no idea. Why would you tell someone to divorce someone? Stupid.
It's just like people who are hating on Tracy Cortez dating Brian Ortega. It's like, I don't mind, man. Let them date if they want to date,
jealous weird people, man. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why people are worried about other people are dating. That's just really weird. Thoughts on Pena making a Nunes fight interesting a long time? Could be. I mean, you're right. Nunes' fights have not been very exciting. I'm with you. I mean, the Megan Anderson fight was pretty quick, I guess. Jenkins fought Kilbert lightweight, yeah. Thoughts on Madge signing with PFL? Did he sign with PFL, Marcel?
Yeah, just announced by his management that he's fighting Nate Williams during the October 27th.
I'm glad to hear that. I really like Don Madge. I don't know why it didn't work out for him in the UFC. The guy is exciting. He had that Tay Edwards, I think, was the guy he knocked out. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's too bad. JP's fine flyweights against Beal down. I agree. He should go back to 125. Aaron Blanchfield, your girl, amazing. Yeah. Amazing performance. 30-25 and 30-26. Yeah, I thought she dominated this fight, obviously. It looked amazing, Marcel. Sarah Alper didn't have anything for her. Any thoughts?
People were saying, like, she fought not a great opponent. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. I mean, this is her debut. Sarah Alper is a former LFA champion. I mean, what do you want? Do you want her to fight top 5 immediately? She's 22 years of age. She could have been in the UFC even earlier if she didn't get that loss to Tracy Cortez. And she looked great, man. I mean, she got a few 10-8 rounds in. On 2 scorecards, she got 2 10-8 rounds in. And I mean, Alpa was just super tough, and she didn't want to go out. Blanchfield did well. I mean, yeah, I think it was a good debut for her.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. I think they should just kind of build her slow because she's only 22. There's no way I would rush her up the ladder.
Same.
Again, we talked about that stupid fight they were booking with Norma Dumont a few months ago. I'm so glad it didn't happen because I really think that would have just really kind of ruined her momentum. But this girl is very good and very young, so I like her. Got these comments. McLovin versus Fig rematch. Yeah, hey Kevin, what's up? I'm with you. For all I've heard is that Patoja's injured, I guess, and he can't fight at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
They needed someone to fight, and Figueiredo basically a lot of title shots this year given because of timing and good fortune and good luck. Marcel, another guy's hurt. They need a main event, something like that. I think that's what happened here. What do you think?
Yeah, man, it's exactly that. Pantoja couldn't make December. Askarov couldn't make December, and he didn't make weight in his last fight. So they got to figure it out. In my opinion, why does Moreno definitely have to fight in December? You know what I mean? Why does that fight definitely have to take place in December? Do it in January if it has to be in January or February.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever. We're gonna see the third fight. What are they gonna do if Davison wins, man?
Fourth fight.
You know what they're gonna do. They're gonna make him fight Cody Garbrandt if Cody Garbrandt defeats Kara France. I tell you that already. That's what they're gonna do.
By the way,
that would be horrible.
I tweeted this out the other day, and I'm almost positive this is true. First time two guys have fought each other 3 times in a row ever in the UFC. That's true.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, it is. The only thing that isn't is Stipe fought DC Stipe fought DC 3 times in a row, but DC had the fight versus Derek Lewis in between. So you did have Stipe fighting DC, but 2 guys against each other never happened. I'll get these other comments. Kristen is saying, do you guys think Impa's compromised at 170? I do. I think we'll talk about this fight quickly. Carlston Harris knocks out Impa in the first round. Impa, I mean, he fought dumb. He got into a firefight. It wasn't a smart performance by him. He's a smarter fighter than what he showed in this fight. It was a dumb fight by him. Carlston's good though. I mean, Carlston's underrated. He's good. I think you picked Carlston, Marcel. I can't remember for sure. But no, okay. Yeah, but give your thoughts on this fight. Well, I'll take those questions in a sec, guys. But let me just talk about this one first because I thought Carlston looked good. And here's the thing: Carlston is 34 years old, so they have to fast track up the ladder. And I think he'll probably get I don't know if he gets a top 15 guy, but someone close to the top 50 just because he's 34. He doesn't have time to waste. What do you think?
I think he looked good, man. He's like the first guy from Guyana in the UFC. It's actually funny, man. He's the first guy from Guyana. His nickname is Mozambique, and he lives in Brazil. I really like him, man. He got signed by the Dana White looking for a fight. Dana told him, like, normally I'm not interested in your age kind of person, but we give you a shot. And he has looked good so far in the UFC, man. He defeated Christina Aguilera pretty quick, and now Impa Kasanganay. Yeah, I agree with you, man. He probably gets somebody close to the top 15 to see where he really stands in this division, man. So, yeah, let's see what they're going to do, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get these comments, guys. Jose says, considering how shallow female flyweight is, she'll get a ranked girl by her third fight. It's possible for sure. I mean, Barber, Maverick, all these young girls get ranked fighters. Sugar Shot submits Boom, heard it first. Wow, hey, Owen, what's up, man? That's a big bold prediction. So, yeah, I don't know if it's official, guys, but I didn't mention this yet. But, yeah, Brian Kelleher said today that Sean O'Malley has accepted the fight against him. I believe it's for UFC 269. Have you heard anything, Marcel? That's what you saw?
I know that Sean was actually supposed to fight Ricky Simone on 269, but Sean didn't want that fight. This is what I've heard. And they booked Ricky against Rafael Assunção. And so I don't know if the Kelleher fight is on or not. I saw that that Kelleher posted something on Twitter, like she said yes, with a ring and with O'Malley's picture with it. So that's the only thing I saw. So I don't know.
Fair enough. Tristan says, I think Cody will be Chinny. Cody Garbrandt, he's taking Chinny at flyweight sparked by Kai Kara France. Very possible. I mean, Kai, he landed that bomb against Rogerio Bontorin in his last fight. What do you say?
That you saw Cody Garbrandt when he was saying, like, I can't wait to fight in December against Stephen France. That's like, who?
Oh, right. Well, you better go to Topology and figure out who's fighting. Tigger the Finest, what's up, man? Sugar Strong striking reminds you of Connor, so accurate. It's very accurate. Not as much power, though. I mean, we saw that in the last 2 fights. But the accuracy, since Tony teasing return at 170. Yeah, Yeah, Tony's got to do something different in his career, obviously, and that looks like the move he's going to make. Owen says Maximov submission prop. We'll talk about that fight tomorrow. But Nick Maximov, Nick Diaz, Academy member, good jiu-jitsu. Carl Robinson, not good jiu-jitsu, so you can kind of see where that one's going. Very possible. Carlson Harris versus Bubakar Nurmagomedov. I'd watch that fight. Sure, that's a good one. They signed Carlson because he beat a big favorite in very short notice. Yeah, in UAE, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looked really good in the UFC, man. I think Carlson's a good fighter. He's a good, solid fighter, good stand-up, good ground game. He should have been in the UFC a while ago, pretty clearly. Mm-hmm. Marcus, do you think Ricky or Brian Kelleher would be a harder fight for O'Malley? I think Ricky Simone, because Ricky's a young guy. Brian Kelleher's in his mid-30s. Brian Kelleher's also not ranked. That's the other thing. Like, you keep talking about, we wanted to see Sean O'Malley fight a ranked guy. He had the opportunity to fight Frankie. Didn't want to fight him because of New York and the taxes or whatever, even though other fighters have to fight there. It's just dumb that people make exceptions for Sean O'Malley when everyone else has to fight New York and pay the taxes. He's like, I don't want to do it. Anyways, whatever. I mean, that's his choice. But that's the thing. He doesn't fight a ranked guy now. He doesn't get to fight number 8 ranked Frankie Edgar. He gets to fight unranked Brian Kelleher. Not as much upside, Marcel. You know what I mean? So I think Marlon Vera really, it worked out well for him because I think he's got a good chance to win against Frankie. Mm-hmm. Jose says O'Malley makes a lot of sense. I'm not fighting top dogs for the same money you get for fighting Spolkas, Kelleher's, etc. I mean, it makes sense. That part of it doesn't make sense. It's just
I disagree.
Let me finish. It makes sense, but at the same time, guys, if people are going to start doing this, you won't see any fights. We won't get any fights at all. So it's not really good precedent to set. A guy saying I don't want to fight him. I don't think it's a great precedent to set.
He's just not in the position in the UFC yet, in my opinion, to say no, I don't want to do that because I get paid too little. I mean,
yeah.
Let's be really honest. What did he do so far in the UFC? We are like, wow, this is next level.
I mean, he's had some good performances. The thing is, for sure. Here's the thing with Sean. He pulls in numbers. I mean, that's just a fact. He does pull in numbers. And that's what the UFC cares about. They care about numbers. So they obviously know the numbers, and he thinks that he's worth a lot more than what they're paying him. I mean, I'll just say this. He better win this fight. If he goes in and loses to Brian Kelleher, that is really bad for his career.
But why should we care about it?
I don't care. I really don't. I honestly don't.
Neither.
I'm kind of tired of stumping for the fighters to make more money, honestly. It's up to them, guys. I've been doing it for years, and a lot of journalists, they get on their soapbox and start saying, hey, these guys need to pay more. They do, but there's a way to do it. And I don't think going to your podcast and saying that you're not getting paid enough money is the way to do it. I think you have to do it behind the scenes with the UFC, but, it is what it is. Let me get these comments. Taker says, Jones are gone. Who do you got winning? I mean, I would pick John Jones to beat anyone, but I think Cyril Gane is fucking amazing. So that'd be a really interesting fight, my man. Carlson beat Khabib's teammate Farhan Khabib. Yes, that's correct. Earlier this year on Fight Island, I want to say. I think it was the same weekend as the 257. Yeah, we'll talk about this fight. Alatang, Harley Alatang's a cheater. I mean, I don't know if cheaters, it's kind of a harsh term, but he definitely cheated in this fight. It sucks because I bet on this guy, and he won that fight and screwed himself and screwed everyone that bet on him because couldn't stop grabbing the fence in the third round, Marcel. He had the first 2 rounds in his bag, and he grabbed the fence, and I think it was Keith Peterson, I believe. Yeah, he took a point, and I'm fine with taking the point. Even though it hurt me because he was going to win, I would have won my bet. Still a push either way. It's not a loss. But, I think that it was fine because he kept grabbing it. He just kept grabbing the fucking fence. I'm like, stop it. Stop grabbing it. What do you think, Marcel?
I think there should be more points deducted anytime somebody grabs a fence, and it does matter to what happens next. You know what I mean? If somebody goes for a takedown and you can just adjust your position to grab the fence and don't get that takedown, get a point taken off immediately. Either make a different rule change that you can grab the fence, or obey the rule and take a point.
No, they can't change that rule. You cannot.
Yeah, exactly. So obey the rule and give a point or take a point. And listen, if you have 3 cage grabs, take 3 points. I don't care. Take your hands off the fence. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you. And again, the warnings give. Okay, first off, we all know the rules of the sport. Everyone knows the rules that competes in the sport. If you don't, you shouldn't compete in the sport. Number 2, the referee goes over the rules with every fighter in the back. These are the rules. If you do this, I'll take a point. You understand? Yes, I understand. So they already know. That's already been given a warning. You know what I mean? And I think that it's good. After all these years, they're finally being like, all right, you're getting a point taken away.
And this is something universal, It's not like he's from China. He didn't understand the rules. He knows he can't grab the fence. You know what I mean? It's not a language barrier or whatever. You can't grab the fence. So when you grab the fence and you get a point deducted, you can't complain at all about
Yeah,
something, in my opinion. So yeah, it's all
I'm
good
with you.
in my opinion.
There's a bunch of questions here. Let me just talk about the last fight in the card, and then I'll get the questions. Hannah Goldie defeats Emily Whitmire, first round armbar. I bet on Hannah Goldie here. It was a little dicey for the first few minutes, being controlled, but then Emily Whitmire gets submitted again. Emily Whitmire, Marcel, 2-4 in the UFC, 3 straight losses by submission, 5 losses in her career, all by submission. Are you kidding me? That's it for Emily Whitmire. I believe she gets cut. What do you think?
Yeah, same, man. I think as well. This was like probably loser gets cut.
Oh, I would say so. Yeah,
Anna Goldie saved her job.
Hey, she did. She needed that armbar and got it. And again, the physical strength of this girl is pretty unbelievable. All right, let me get these comments now. Any update on heavyweight supernova Ori Kulang? Isn't that the guy that's the lightweight, or is this a different guy?
That's the Aoki Lang is a flyweight, and
I thought he's the guy that fought Jeff Molina at 261.
Yeah, he's fighting Cody Durden next.
Cody Durden, yeah. Owen says it's also because his head coach. He's talking about the Sean thing. Yeah, for sure. I mean, what's his name? Tim Welch couldn't fight.
Yeah.
Dick Connor and Masvidal happened in 2022. Very possible. Dana apparently didn't want to make that fight because of the size, but if there's dollar signs to be made, they'll make the fight. Tristan says, what do you guys think of Rockhold saying, Luke Rockhold, Usman, he said Usman and Adesanya missed an opportunity to step up during the Gano situation and change the landscape. Okay, I saw the comments. He said they're all from Nigeria, which is wrong because Kamaro's from, or Francis is from Cameroon. So that was wrong. But, I know I get what he's saying. He's not wrong in the fact that these guys do need to help each other out. I'm telling you right now, there's no journalist out there who's going to change the game of pay for these guys. It's the only thing that's going to change, Marcel, is if the fighters collectively bargain, get a union where they get to collectively bargain their contracts. Nothing will change otherwise. Would you agree with me on that?
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, there's no point even talking about fighter pay because it's up to them, guys, What's going on with Francis? He's stuck in the middle of CAA, WME war. It sure seems like it. The last thing I heard was Randy Couture got interviewed by James, and Randy said that, and obviously Francis is training with Randy now. It's extreme. He was saying, like, Francis is pissed off about his contract. He has a lot of concerns, basically. He has some serious concerns about his contract. So it sure seems like they're trying to get him to fight on some old contract that he probably signed before he was the champ, and now he's like, all right, I'm the champ now. I want to get paid more money. And they're probably like, no, you're going to get paid this. UFC, I love the UFC. We all love the UFC here. They're going to get exposed at some point for the low pay. I mean, it's already happening. We're already seeing people talk about it a lot more now. But again, they need a union. The fighters need a union before they ever goes from 20% of revenues to 50%. Why? Because I'm telling you right now, baseball players, they had to fight for that stuff. They had to fight for free agency and stuff. Same with hockey players, basketball players, football. They all fought for that. Boxers too. The MMA fighters are going to have to fight for it too. You know what I mean, Marcel? They're not going to be given these rights on a silver platter. Jose says, thoughts on the new MMA person WFL. I got to be honest, I think it's kind of stupid. I got to be honest. I'm sorry. I hate saying that. I'm not trying to be negative, but we've seen this already with the IFL and it failed. Why would this do any better? Not only that, but it just seems way too ambitious from what I was reading. Like they want every country to have like 10 teams or something. This is insane. The amount of fighters they would need in the roster is like in the thousands. Again, anytime you got a promotion out there, it's going to pay guys money. That's a good thing. I'm okay with that. But I just have a lot of questions about this WFL thing. Any thoughts?
Yeah, they already got like a copied logo from somebody else.
I saw that.
There was a Dutch promotion that's called World Fighting League. So, I mean, I don't know, man, what to think about it. We'll see. We'll see.
I honestly, I just don't. I think it's going to fail. I'll say that right now. That'd be my guess. Tony should fight Michelle Pereira. That'd be a fun one. It'd be a lot of fun. Would you favor Martin Boudet or Hugo Kanna? I don't know those guys. Do you know them?
Heavyweight fight for Contender Series.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I haven't looked at those fights yet. Is that tomorrow or next week? Next week?
I think that's.
I don't think it's tomorrow.
It's not even close. I think it's week 7. I think.
Yeah, no, I haven't looked that far ahead yet, Jose. With the Contender Series, I'm just going week by week because so many guys get pulled from the fights now just because of COVID and stuff. Jamie says, I can get a single cage grab due to human instinct wanting to stay in the feet, but if you're continuously grabbing after being warned, taking the points are warranted. I agree with that. That's fair. It is human instinct. If you're trying to get pulled to the ground, you probably want to grab something to stay up, right? I get that, but again, we know the rule. There's There's a reason there's a rule in the rule books that you can't grab the fence. If guys could just grab the fence, they wouldn't get taken down. It'd be impossible to take someone down. If you could match up Tony with any welterweight, who would it be? I mean, I think Condit would have been a good fight, but he just retired. That's too bad. I don't know. I mean, any thoughts, Marcel? Like, I haven't really even thought about it.
Nate Diaz.
That'd be a fun one. And including who Justin Taffet's fighting in December. Did he announce a fight? Baudot or Hunsucker? I thought Hunsucker was just one and done. I thought they cut him after the fights. Baudot, I think, is still on the roster, but he's not that good. This guy was saying Ariel Gil. I'm talking about the heavyweight guy. The Korean guy that got kicked hard in the balls. Don't know who it is. If you throw the
yeah, I know who he is. Aori Gele or something is his name. He got kicked in the balls and it ruptured his balls. You know,
right.
And that was in Korea. What does he want to know about him?
Yeah, what do you think of him stuff?
I don't know too much about him. I saw him fight sometimes. He's like a really big guy, you know. And I don't know, man. He looked good in Korea, but I mean, the competition kind of questionable sometimes. So I don't know, to be really honest.
It's an interesting question. Oh, and he says, do you think contracts should be 2/3 show money, 1/3 win money? I think it probably should just be like you just get paid to fight. You know, I don't think you should get paid more or less for winning. But again, that's another thing that like the fighters are gonna have to fight for. The UFC is just not going to get rid of that whole show win structure. They really like it. It helps their company out. I think it'd be better probably if you just show and no win. What do you think, Marcel? They just raise the show up. That'd probably be better.
They will never do it.
They'll never do it, though, guys. Tell you that right now. Tigger likes that fight too. Yeah, let's talk about Bellator because Marcus got a comment. That was my next thing. Managing Romero, what would you advise him to do next? Well, I wouldn't advise him to fight Anthony Johnson like everyone else is suggesting. And he's just lost 4 straight fights. So let's talk about this card really briefly. I did catch the main card. Did not watch the prelims of this card, Marcel. I don't know if you did. I caught the main card. It was on really late. I was falling asleep. I don't know why Bellator chooses to air these fights so late at night. I think it was like 1 o'clock maybe when Phil Davis and Romero were fighting. Also, I literally fell asleep as soon as the final bell ended. I was like, I'm going to bed. I woke up and saw it was a split decision. I can't believe that was a split decision. Are you kidding me? It was pretty clear Phil Davis won that fight. Any thoughts on this fight?
It's the only fight I've watched. I watched it back. I think Phil Davis clearly won. This fight started, I think, around 7 p.m. or something, or 7 a.m. over here. And I really didn't feel to watch it anymore. So I went to bed. I pretty much went to bed 1 hour after the UFC card. So, I mean, Phil Davis should have won, but should have won by unanimous decision, in my opinion, not a split decision. I know what Jaron Vallel was watching, but sometimes I really don't know what he is watching, also not what he's referencing. So, I mean, what can you say about it? I think Davis did enough to win the fight, a unanimous decision, and not a split.
Phil Davis is an underrated guy. I mean, he's not the most exciting guy, but he's underrated, guys. Like,
I see people saying like Yoel Romero lost to a bum in his Bellator debut.
No, Phil Davis is good. I actually favored Phil in this fight. I did favor him in this fight. Bigger guy, better athlete probably at this point of their careers. I mean, Romero's good, but he's 44, guys. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, what would I do with Romero next? I don't know. He needs to get a win, though. He can't lose 5 straight fights. I mean, what's next? But, yeah, I mean, I think Phil Davis, you look at his resume, Gustafsson, Glover, King Mo, Machida, who else you got here? McGeary, Romero. It's a good resume. It's solid, you know. He's got some losses to good fighters, but Phil Davis has been good for a long time. Get a few other comments here about this card from you guys. MMA managers are useless. Sure seems like it. They always get their fighters bad fights, like JP Bays' manager. Bellator is boring and terrible. So many better promotions out there. I don't think Bellator is great. I wouldn't say it's like super like the worst promotion, but it's not great. There's better promotions. UFC's better. I think PFL puts on better fights, honestly, at this point. Some MMA managers are weasels like Audi. That's funny. I went to sleep after the big 2-1. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. And he says, Posey says that very rarely get the big field fight from Bellator. Yeah, I think I felt it during the Pitbull fight with McKee. I think that felt like kind of a big fight, but very rarely it seems like in Bellator. Like, I don't know, Marcel. I mean, I gotta be honest. You know, now that I'm a dad, like my time is a little. I mean, it's a lot harder to find free time. And even though I like watching Bellator, and I did end up watching a couple of fights here, it's not like I'm going on my way now. You know what I mean, Marcel? Like, I also think they made a mistake by putting it on the same time as UFC. Why would they do that? Why do that for the fans? You know, maybe there's fans want to watch both. You could have did 2 nights in a row. I don't know. Like from a few other fights here, Neiman Gracie gets his first career knockout over Mark Levenger, Marcel. That was a nice knockout. Deanna Bennett defeats Alejandra Lara by decision, but she missed weight. Sal Rogers defeats Georgia Karakanian by decision. And as you guys alluded to, Ben Parrish, the big tuna, knocks out Christian Edwards, who was a minus 1,000 favorite, Marcel, gets knocked out in the first round. I didn't watch the prelims. I know that Anthony Adams, former Contender Series guy, did pick up a big upset over Khalid Mirzataliev. That's the guy that destroyed Stevie Dalloway in the UFC. And Alex Polizzi picked up a split decision upset win over Grant Neal. I didn't see the prelims, so I can't comment on them, but I did see some of the main card fights. And Neiman looked good. Parrish looked good, obviously. Any thoughts on this card?
No.
Yeah. It's Bellator's just not great. It really isn't. And I honestly feel like Bellator's on the way out just because, like, there's not as much to like about it, you know? They have some decent fighters, but in general, the roster is just not as good, you know, as the other promotions. So it's always good to have a different option for the fighters out there, but I still feel like Bellator's – I always feel like Viacom or whatever, Showtime could pull the plug on it at any point. MVP Lima rematch the one few Bellator fights I'm looking forward to seeing. Alex Please is a cool fighter. He is. Lima should come to the UFC. It'd be sweet, eh? Wouldn't that be awesome? Only if we get a big feel from Nikki Pitbull. It did seem like a big fight. Really quickly, we'll talk about Contender Series. I don't think we talked about it, Marcel. Dana White gave out 5 more contracts, so it's 15 contracts. I don't know what to think, guys, because yesterday I wrote an article on this guy, Julius Anglickas. Julius is fighting for the Bellator title. Julius Anglickas won a Contender Series 2 years ago and submitted a guy and did not get signed, Marcel. If he was on this season, 100% he would have been signed. If Austin Vanderford was on the season, he'd be signed. If Chris Kurz was on the season, he'd be signed. I feel really bad for the fighters that competed in the first couple of seasons, won their fights, and didn't get signed because he's essentially signing almost everyone that gets signed. So on this card, we had Jailton Almeida, he got signed. Albert Dureyev got signed. Lucas Bresky got signed. Jack Della Maddalena got signed. Jasmine Jasuda Vicious got signed. Only Mo Miller, they passed on him, and Mo was pissed about it. Obviously, I think Steve A was too. But, you know, in general, I think that he made some good calls. Like, I think Jailton, obviously, he already has a fight booked, I believe. He already has a fight, right? He's fighting
Danilo Marquez.
Albert Dureyev is fighting Alessio Di Chirico 2 months after Di Chirico got knocked out. So it's pretty clear they're doing there. Bresky, Dana White didn't want to sign, but he decided to do it the last second. Della Maddalena was a shoe-in, and the guy looked amazing. I thought Lusa could have been signed too. I mean, it was an amazing fight. And then Jasmine, I don't, you know, even though I'm Canadian and I should like her, I didn't think she was that special in that fight. She gassed out. She took the whole second round off, was taking the third round off, and then started smashing the girl's face at the end of it.
Let's be really honest.
Yeah.
There were 3 guys who really deserved the contract. It was Duraev, Della Maddalena, and Almeida. And even, I think, Angelusa deserved it over Jasuda Vicious and Brzezinski.
I agree with you. I actually agree with you on that, Marcel. I think that's kind of a hot take, but I agree. I don't think Jasmine's ready for the UFC. She does have, obviously, some decent wrestling, but the striking's not there and the cardio's not there. Bresky, the cardio is not there. It doesn't look like he's got much power in his hands either, which is not good because Potter couldn't put that guy on. That guy's not very good. I don't know. Overall, I thought Jailton looks like a guy who can make some noise at 205 just because he is so strong and big. Dureyev looks like the best guy probably on the card. That guy looks amazing. Della Maddalena looked good too. Very fun fight. Do you think they should have signed Mo Miller? Do you think they should have picked him up?
I mean, if you sign Brzezinski and you sign Jasuda Vicious, why did you pass on?
That's
Mo
what I'm
Miller?
saying. I'm confused now why they didn't get this guy because what was so much better about? I guess just because the division, because they have a lot of 135ers, they don't have a lot of women's 125 and heavyweights. It comes down to that.
That just sucks, you know.
Why bring him on then? You know what I mean, Marcel? What did this guy have to do to win? But it's weird because he gets a dominant win. Last week, Simon Oliveira and Chad Hellinger, they got split decision wins and got signed at bantamweight too. So it's it's kind of weird, Marcel. I don't know. I get it. The guy was like a minus 800 favorite, but I don't know.
I feel kind of favoritism sometimes.
There is in the Contender Series for sure. We'll talk about the other card tomorrow. I know that there's 5 fights that we're going to see tomorrow. One guy missed weight, Hashim Arkaga.
Yeah, the main event. Yeah,
came in at 189 for a 185 fight. So I'm pretty sure, guys, he won't get signed even if he wins. Have they signed anyone who's missed weight off Contender? So they signed one guy who came off a loss, but no one's ever missed weight. That's interesting, right? You can't sign someone missing weight. You could give them one more fight later on this season. You could do that or the next season. Got 5 minutes left here, guys. Jose says, I'm a huge Musasi fan during his last UFC, but now I don't even bother watching a Bellator after the Roy fight. Yeah, it's not as exciting. John Salter fight looked pretty good, though. Todd Duffy, is he out of the UFC? I don't know. I thought he was still on the roster, but he hasn't fought since that eye poke fight against, what's that guy's name? Jeff Hughes? He had that eye poke in, I think, Vancouver. Kind of quit, didn't want to fight. Yeah. Hey, Doug, what's up? He says they should be signed retroactively. Who's he? Oh, I see what he's saying. Yeah, that's funny. Thoughts of contender series guys getting cut to make room for contender series guys. I mean, that makes sense. You get rid of a guy like Roosevelt Roberts, you replace him with whoever else. That's lightweight, or Jacob Rosales, Victor Martinez. You replace him with the winner of that fight tomorrow. That's what happens, guys. Mm-hmm. We need to give Lucas Bennett the doubt. First fight in 2 years, coming off ACL, change of opponents. Watch his fight prior, considering he looked better. I was going to ask you, Jose, because I know you were the guy beating the drum about Lucas for a while. Every single week for like the last 2 months, this guy, Jose, has asked us, what do you guys think about Lucas? And I'm with you, Jose. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he did get an opponent change, but this guy needs to either go to 205 or put on a lot of muscle and move up and become a stronger heavyweight. Because to me, he looked at kind of in between the weight classes, Marcel, and that's just kind of a weird spot to be in, I think. Doug saying it's taking away contender series legitimacy. I agree. I was talking to Cole, friend of the show. Cole's like, I don't like the show as much now because they're signing everyone. Like, it's not, the draw was, you got to fight your ass off. You might get signed. Now they're just signing you if you win, basically.
I don't mind them signing people, but it's got to be a deserved signing, you know what I mean? And sometimes in the other seasons, some guy or some girl deserved to get signed, and they didn't get signed, and now out of nowhere, almost everybody got signed, so it's really weird.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think there's too many signings. I mean, 15 signings through 3 weeks, and it's just scary because I think they said there's 100 fights, right? So there could be up to 50 guys signed, maybe 51 because they signed the one guy coming off a loss. Again, it's just, what they're doing is they're trying to find new talent. They're going to get rid of old talent, bring in new talent. That's what they're doing. I love contender series. I personally like when they sign a little bit less guys, like 3 guys or something. I just think you do get rid of some of the, that part where they're sitting down at the end and they're all sitting there and you're watching Marcel and you're wondering who's going to get signed. You kind of got rid of that now because you're signing everyone. Dana doesn't even write down notes anymore. He just says, like, I'm signing you. What do you say?
The thing with the interviews after that takes so fucking long, man. That was like 5 a.m. already over here. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to sign this one. Dude, say who you sign, give them an interview, get the fuck out of there. It's 5 a.m. I want to go to sleep, Sorry.
No, I know. All right. I think that's it for Contender Series. And Jose was saying, to be honest, I didn't know about Lucas till he got signed Contender Series. I was just joking, Lucas. I know you were asking about him. He was asking about Boudet, Kana, Kuniev, Pimblet versus Vargas. I mean, Vargas seems like a pretty tough dude, so maybe he's got the chin to handle the shots. But I think they'll give Pimblet someone better than that. I don't know, but Vargas is a good, gatekeeper type. What?
I really have to pee, man.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get out of here. Plug stuff, Marcel. No, it's fine. We're done. We're done the hour. Plug your stuff, Marcel. Let's get out of here.
Big Marcel24, Twitter, Instagram, MMA DNA.nl, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Guys, I'm going, man. Adam, take it over, man.
No problem, guys. I'll be here for one more minute and then get out of here myself. Thanks, Marcel. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys, for all the questions. Jose, all you other guys. Follow me on Twitter at MMAOB Podcast, MMAOddsmaker.com. It's on our YouTube. It's on iTunes, Spotify, all those places. I'm also available at BJPenn.com, MyMMAnews.com. Bookies.com is a new place I'm working at, which is cool. Lead Sports Betting and Lead Fantasy and Fanatics. So a lot of places, guys. Hope you have a great day. I'll be back with Marcel tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, to break down UFC 266. Have a good night, guys.